Welcome back to Believe in Badgers on the Believe Network, presented by betonline.ag and Oak Ridge Wealth Management. I'm Matt Perkins, joined as always by Badger legend, the Hebrew Hammer himself, Matt Bernstein. Bernie, how are we doing today?
Man, dude, I'm good, man. Every day's a holiday. We're chopping up with one of my old school teammates who I haven't talked to in a long time. I mean, it's been a minute, maybe, which is so sad. So one thing I think about football, playing at a college level, probably in any team, but you have all these dudes come together who like live every second with each other. And then you graduate and you basically disappear back to your hometowns or back to wherever job takes you. So one thing, we're all not from Wisconsin. So, a lot of people didn't stay. So it's nice that we have all this social media now and all this other technology to keep us together, talk a little smack about the Badgers and say good things as a group. But to have, Jamal Cooper back, baby, makes me excited, man. This guy had so much energy. I'm full of like happiness to have you on, man.
Are you feeling green? Oh, man. No, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys reaching out. Like you said, it's been a while. Haven't seen you in a while. Be good to see you. That green is for everybody that sees Bernie's avatar on the cell phone.
We'll post it, Matt Perkins. I'll send you the picture of it.
Yes, absolutely. We will post that. And we are elated to have Jamal Cooper here with us today, former Badgers defensive lineman, still defensive line coach, and a man of many talents. So we will get into it here with Jamal in just a second. Before we do, want to remind everyone tuning in that we continue to be presented by betonline.ag. We know you're mostly football fans, but we know we got some basketball fans out there as well. And it is that time of year again. The NBA has just tipped off. From the opening tip to buzzer beaters, BetOnline has you covered with the best odds, biggest promotions, and best live in-game betting on all of your favorite teams. This season, every game matters. BetOnline has every stat, matchup breakdown, and live odds to bet on during the games. And it's not just the NBA. Obviously, they've got it all. Football, MLB playoffs, NHL, political props, you name it, it's over there at betonline.ag. Head on over to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering, BetOnline. The game starts here. And of course, we are proudly presented by Chris Anicetti and his team over at Oak Ridge Wealth Management. If you are a current collegiate athlete with NIL deals or a pro or future pro athlete, Chris Anicetti is the man you need to connect with to get your money right. At Oak Ridge, Chris and his team of professionals create a comprehensive financial plan to set up and navigate your lifestyle and future market conditions. They specialize in one thing, that is taking care of professional athletes. They understand all the pressures that you face every single day. Chris and his team will set you up with a bespoke plan to make your money work for you off the field while you focus on what you do best, perform on the field. Get in touch with Chris on Instagram at oakbridgewm_Anicetti. That's oakbridgewm_ANICETE, or head on over to their website, oakbridgewealthmgmt.com. That's Chris Anicetti and Oak Ridge Wealth Management. Get your money right. Jamal, I think you would recommend to any young athlete to get their money right as young as possible.
Yes. The crazy part about it, I got a couple of guys at Mizzou, and one of my guys, I'm already got him investing pretty much 50% of his money and Microsoft and NVIDIA every month. So we own it. Yeah.
Dude, Coop, imagine a world where you as a college athlete have a money person, like a financial advisor. You might be your own LLC, like your own company. Like, this is things we didn't deal with as young, 20-year-olds.
We had to worry about making sure we had Roman noodles.
And JD wasn't, going to yell at us for being five seconds late. Dude, I have so many questions because now, you're in this world, right? Like, sorry to jump in here, but like, you're in this world. D linemen are highly paid.
They are
people.
Yeah.
What are you seeing? Like, what's your, I guess we'll just jump to Matt Perkins. It's okay. We'll just jump in. We'll go back. Coop, we'll go back to you and how you got to Wisconsin in like a little while. But I mean, you brought it up. I just want to know, like, you would have been paid, like, dudes on the line, Erasmus, Antosh, JJ, J-Dub, like, paid. Man. What are you seeing in the landscape right now?
I'll say this. It's a kid that never played a down, transferred to a school and got $100,000. and he didn't look like he was good. His body look how I look right now at 40. So I was mad. I wish I could lace up my cleats, but man, it's the amount of money that's out there is crazy for the guys. I'm so happy now that those athletes are actually getting paid what they worth and what they value. And so I'm happy. I'm just jealous a little bit that I was born in 85 and not 2005. But overall, man, it's a great opportunity for those kids. It's life-changing money. It's really just like you guys saying, connecting them with the right people so that they don't squander their money. I guess that's the best way to say it. Or, they just buying cars and buying clothes and taking girls on trips. And, you find the wrong girl, you won't have no money. But hey, that's another story though.
Now, there's a place to do those things.
It is.
But there's also a place, first off, to buy like a Corvette, let's say, not a place for. To lease a Honda Accord kind of might make sense, right?
Yeah.
There's places to do that. Taking your girl on a trip to Florida for a vacation, great. Traveling on like a cruise to Europe, maybe you're going a little bit someone you met 2 days ago. Hey, it's never like it hasn't crossed my mind to do. Also, I had $40 in my pocket in college, so we were taking no trips unless it was to Mickey's Dairy Barn, I think.
Or Wando's on Monday.
Yeah, did you guys want to go on a date to Wando's? And then maybe a honeymoon at the college club?
Hey. Everybody don't know you.
So Coop, let's just jump in, man. You're from St. Louis. How does little Coop start playing football? I mean, you went to Hazelwood East?
The Hazelwood East, as I like to say, let's not minimize that, As you know, I had several teammates from my school already up at Wisconsin. And we had also a history of going to Wisconsin. So it was one of those things where if you got eyes you can see, you go to Wisconsin, you go from Hazelwood East, you go to Wisconsin, you go to the NFL. And it was pretty much laid out, and it was laid out for me. I just had different intentions. Could nobody tame me, as some would like to say.
Coop, you had a lot of energy.
I had a whole lot.
A whole lot. But how does little Coop start playing football? Is it something that every kid around your area does?
You know what? I grew up from a football family. So you talk about uncles playing football, dad played football, granddad played football. My dad was my coach. My dad been coaching Little League football since I was a baby. And so you talking about a guy that's pretty much have served the community probably about 40 years from now, just coaching football. So it's just something I grew up in. My older brother played. Both of my other older brothers played. One went to Michigan State. And so it was just like a pedigree laid out for me. So dropped it like it's hot. Fumble on the play. But yeah, so it was just one of those situations where it was pretty much laid out for me. So I ain't had no choice but to be good, And so played Little League, been playing since I was 7. From there, went on to Hazelwood East. Had a decent career there, somewhat decent, I guess so. Went to Wisconsin. And then I ended up Wisconsin, man. So it was, as some people say, I was good by environment. I ain't had no choice but to be good. You got an older brother that's good. You got cousins that's good. Not going to let you be soft. They're going to beat you up if you are soft. So I grew up in a kennel. And there was a kennel of football players. And if you wasn't tough, you know what happens to the weak dogs that's in the kennel. They get their butts whooped. So,
And it's not just that Hazelwood East Wisconsin connection, which we know for Brandon Williams. Who else? Was Scott Starks one of those guys? Yeah. So
Jamar Fletcher. Yep.
Fletch was there as well. Yeah. But dude, your high school football team had some dudes. Some serious dudes that weren't just going to Wisconsin, but were going all over the Big Ten to Missouri. And, I'm going back and prepping for this episode, just trying to, find out a little bit more about that prep team you played for. And I'm I'm talking about 3, 4, 5 guys at class going, high D1. What was it like to be around that kind of talent every single day in high school practice?
So my junior year, I thought I was going to be on the sideline, if I could be honest with you. I was a $190 wet at DN. And so the guy in front of me was all conference. He was all state. And so I'm thinking I'm finna just be, hey, whatever y'all need me to do, if I need to block a couple of downs, or I need to get this guy a break. And so, man, you talking about, we had 11 guys from that team go D1. And so you talking about competitiveness. And so it's every day. You come out playing around when you want to, you're going to get your head knocked off. And so it was just a bunch of guys that was hungry that pretty much showed the way, because out of 11 of those guys, about 8 of them were seniors, and I was a junior. And so I pretty much I followed the script, man. You know, once you see people doing great things, it's not hard to pay attention and just do what they do. And so it was actually pretty fun, especially with a guy like Brandon. You know B. Will, man. He got a lot of personality. But the one thing that he does have that you can't deny is leadership. And so with a guy like that, you kind of just gonna say, all right, well, what we doing? All right, let's go. And so we had a bunch of other guys like that as well. And so, like I said, it was kind of easy for me. I feel like life was laid out for me for the most part. And so I was just blessed to be on the team, man.
Before we go any further, want to remind everyone listening that we are presented by Melon, the world's most durable hat. Go to melon.com, that's MELIN.com, and put it to the test yourself, just like Bernie and I do every week on Monday Morning Fullback with the Hang Your Hat On It segment presented by Melon. That's MELIN, the world's most durable hat. So who from the Wisconsin coaching staff then was the first one to really reach out to you?
Good old Cosgrove. Yeah,
I called it, Bernie. I called it. If it's a Missouri guy, if it's a St. Louis guy in that era, especially on defense, it's got to be Coach Cos.
It's Cosgrove. And so Cosgrove came down, man. Cosgrove was cool. He was laid back. He wasn't that pushy. Didn't seem like he was too eager, you know. Nobody wants the person that wants you too much, you know. And so he was kind of laid back with it. You know, you don't want that. Like, hey. And so, but he was a good guy. My family loved him. And the thing that really sold me on Wisconsin was it was the weight program. Like I said, I wasn't the biggest guy, still not the biggest guy, but I seen they had this example with Chris Chambers, how he came in at 180 and left at 220 running this. I was like, that's kind of fit me. Let's go. And so, hey, like I say, I got eyes, I got ears to see. And so once I see something that makes sense, I'm going to do what makes sense.
Cool. What were some of your best attributes playing D-end at a high-powered high school at 190? It's not normal. At my high school, where we had 27 dudes, yes, that's normal. What were your best attributes? What separated you from the kind of the normal mold of the end?
First thing, I was smart. You know, I'm a coach's kid. And so just knowing the game, being a student of the game was pretty my best attribute that I think that made me different from other people. The other thing that I would say was my technique. For the most part, when it came to technique, I was going to play low. I was going to play fast. And I was fast as well. But I think that the thing that really makes a football player is toughness. If you're not tough, it don't matter how fast, how strong, none of that matter. You're going to get punched in your mouth and you're going to get pushed somewhere. And so my mindset, I wasn't going like that. And so that was the other thing I feel like that really separated me. Being so little, I just had, hey, we finna fight. I don't care what happened, what's going on. We're gonna settle this out. And I feel like I'm not going to lose after this fight. And so that's my mindset.
So maybe it's mentality is your best attribute, because all those things are summed up. And you know, I remember, Coop, 100%. You were fast, which I hated because you were, you know, like you and Jonathan Walsh. I could never tell what I was going to get from you guys. You know, like you're just a pain in my butt every time. Like on purpose. I'm like, I have to be perfect because this dude. It's not like if you didn't move, I weighed more than you, but you moved and you were shifty, and so I remember. And then sometimes you'd shoulder me up, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? This guy. And I loved it, dude. You brought an energy, man. I loved it. Wait, so you're a junior, you're a backup. When do teams start coming around? Like, when does Cosgrove show up? Is it your senior year? You're doing well. Like, how do you figure out when college is attainable?
So I thought I was going to be a backup. So let's make sure we get that straight. I thought I was going to be a backup in the beginning of the year. Once the year started, I ended up actually starting over the guy. He was pissed, but hey, such is life, you know. he went nowhere. I went to Wisconsin, so it was a reason. But after that junior year, it was all good because I showed what I could do against big time opponents. So we had it was this line that we played against called Jackson. I mean, guys look like Joe Thomas out there. And I'm still 190. I was luckily I was 210 when I was going against them in college, but it wasn't that much. But going against guys like that at 190, it showed the college coaches like no matter what you put against this guy, he'll be okay. And so it actually picked up at the end of my junior year, and kind of had a bunch of schools that was interested in me. It's not like it is now. You don't get 40 fake offers. Now it was like the 5 or 10 teams that actually like you. They're gonna show you they like you. And so
who liked you besides Wisconsin?
It was Mizzou, K-State, UCLA, and Illinois. Those are the other schools I was looking at.
And, I mean, were those serious looks? Like you wanted some of those schools?
Mizzou, no. Mizzou, they had like a bad taste in their mouth with everybody at our school. Nobody really wanted to go there. It wasn't like it is now. Illinois and K-State and UCLA, yes. Those were all schools I definitely was considering. Illinois, I went on my visit and I partied too much. And I was like, nah, this ain't gonna work. This is not gonna work. And so, yeah.
Wait a second. Hold on. You went to Illinois and partied too much and then ended up at Wisconsin.
Let me take a guess.
This decision making.
Let me take a guess. Cool. Was Sparky your host?
Your host?
You already know the answer to that one. Yeah. It was supposed to be Sparky, but it was Brandon. But we didn't do nothing. It was kind of like it was cold outside. It was snowing. And I was like, okay, Wisconsin seemed like a laid back place. I won't party that much. I didn't know we was the number one party school in the nation. I didn't know. I did not know.
You didn't beat me yet. You didn't beat me. Did you take other visits?
You know what?
Outside of Illinois?
I took Illinois, and then when I took Wisconsin, I committed. After I took Wisconsin, I committed. I just felt it was the right thing. It made sense. And then after that, everything kind of shut down. So. Mm-hmm.
So what was the classic commitment story out at Barry's house? He calls you into the office. Is that how it all went down?
You already know it. So what do you guys think? What do you want to do?
And you're like, I'm in.
And my parents, I think the other thing, my parents were so happy because it's one thing when you meet Alvarez, he got this demeanor about him, man. And he make parents and everybody just feel so comfortable because Al be real. That's one thing you know about Al. He gonna be real. Whatever he thinking, whatever he gonna say it, that's just who he is. And he also has this just welcoming personality. And I think my parents love that about him. And just kind of everything that they said. And it was just like, hey, we love this place. We feel like this will be a good fit for you. They allowed me to make the decision. And so they was actually ecstatic that I made the decision to go to Wisconsin.
All right, so young 210-pound Coop D-end shows up on campus.
When I showed up, 196. 190,
sorry. What is... I haven't seen 210 since like 7th grade. So 190 since like 3rd grade. So Coop, what's day one for what's day one when you get off the plane? Like what is it the summer? Like when do you show up? What's day one for Coop like?
I showed up in the summer. I stayed with B. Will, Dwayne, and all of them at their place. And then I get right into the weight room, and then I never remember. I think it was Nick Card. Nick looked at me. Yeah, he looked at me like, "What your little skinny is gonna do?" And I just kind of looked at him like, "All right, whatever, you gonna see." And so that was everybody's thing. They was like, "You play DN, you shoot on." But so everybody looking at me like, "Man, they just bringing anybody up here." Like they let anybody go to Wisconsin.
Well, I mean, the room, I mean, we ran a 4-3. So the room was like pretty big D linemen.
It was.
The mold was Erasmus James, right? Like that was what everyone was shooting for.
Yep.
And Coach Art was a nose guard. So makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who else was in that room when you showed up?
So it was,
Is this 2003, by the way?
2002.
2002. Okay,
no, 2003. No, you're right. 2003. So we had Raz, we had J-Dub, we had JJ, we had Todd, we had Big Calvin came over. Then we had other people that was in my class was Kurt. Kurt was pretty big. Brandon Kelly they ended up eventually moving him over. He was big. We had Justin, Big Otto. Otto was big as heck. You had Joe that was there. And then it was Trey that was there as well. And so, yeah, everybody big except me, you know. And so
that's a wild room.
Yeah. Hey, man. Hey. A lot of great personalities.
Not only a lot of great personalities, but probably one of the best rooms. I mean, D-line wise in 30 years. I mean, unstoppable. All right, so you show up to the weight room. Give me some weight room stories, because that is not the easy. Tell me it wasn't a Tuesday.
I'll tell you one story between me and you. One time, look, hey. So I think this was my This wasn't like the first year, but I think it was like my sophomore year. I was starting now, you know, I'm playing now. And I go change the station, and Bernie said, "Man, what the?" And then I'm like, I wanted to say something back to him, but I'm like, let me respect my elders. And so
in the weight room.
Yeah, in the weight room. But you know what? My first year, I was a Stairmaster guy a lot. You know, I would miss in the morning, and so yeah, you know, me and Dad got to know each other nice. You know, we had a real good relationship. You know, so.
I got to mute my for laughing so hard. A Stairmaster guy is somebody you never wanted to be. That means you either showed up or didn't show up, but went to different lifts.
Man, I did it.
I can believe that, though.
Yeah. But I enjoyed the night before, though. So.
Coop, you are funny. You've always been a funny dude.
So I gotta ask, you show up and then you're sent off to the seminary.
Yeah.
What is your seminary experience as, you know, sort of showing up as this skinny dude on the defensive line?
So it was show people who I am. You know, you get some place and everybody has to be who you are. And so I remember it was one opportunity early on. They kind of was just calling somebody out, and I just got in. I'm like, hey, let me get up in here. And I think everybody's surprised I didn't get blown off the ball like 15 yards. They was like, oh, he might be able to play a little bit. And so I think everybody was pretty much surprised that, one, I was eager to get in there, and then two, it wasn't at what everybody thought it was going to be. I think a lot of guys thought, you got this guy that's probably 200 pounds soaking wet going against 300 pounders. Oh, this finna be light work. However, they was highly upset. So,
dude, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm looking from the other side of the ball going, man, that's a small guy over there. Dude, you play bigger. That's for sure. I mean, you played way bigger your whole career. But dude, what is it like? I mean, literally, you show up, you go to the seminary. That must have been a shock. I mean, that's 18 full days. Did you have a roommate?
I forgot who my roommate was. I think it was Enrique. Or it was either Enrique or Tony T. Moss. It probably was Tony.
So you probably played for one of the hardest coaches to play for.
Oh, that's
John Flairwell.
Yeah.
That's all right. Hey, I recently found out that dude fought for me to get to Wisconsin somehow. So I have to go back on like 30 years of PTSD from hearing his voice, but not you, Coop. So I'm proud of you. What was it like to meet him for the first time and then be coached by him?
So the first thing I noticed about him, he was real. And to me, I'm always going to honor that. And he was hard-nosed. So I'm used to hard-nosed coaches. My dad was a hard-nosed coach. And so to me, I loved it. It was one of those things where it was like, yes, this is the coach I want. I don't want no rah-rah coach. I don't want no coach that's going to be, hey, good job. No, get on me. And that's what he was going to do. He was a straight shooter. And so to me, it was refreshing. It made me it made me respect him a lot more. And so any other coach behind them, they kind of had a tough role if they didn't meet the figure of what I'm used to, because as you all know, Palermo, he's a hard-nosed coach. He's not going to back down from you. He's not the coach that's going to tell you what you want to hear, but he tell you what you need to hear. And so with a guy like that, I go to love him.
You also spent a lot of time around Coach Huber. What was it like to be in like that group? And also, I mean, you guys did one-on-ones with some of the best players. What's it like going up against Joe Thomas?
Hey, I was the only guy to get a sack on him in college. The only thing about it, though, it was right after he had got the Outland Trophy, and so he was a little rusty. And so that was the one time I beat him. He had just came back, he had the trophy and stuff, and I got him. I was like, yeah, what you gonna do now? Oh, the trophy boy.
So, but your first year, you're playing. Are you playing scout team your first year?
Yeah.
Are you knocking heads with my co-host here in practice? Like, what's going on? How was your scout team experience? Because
I'm a dip and rip on him. I'm dipping and ripping on Bernie. You know, you got to know when. If then after I dip and rip him, he maybe if he's sitting there, then I'm gonna smack him. But nah, we ain't finna go head up. Come on now.
Well, I went a lot of head up with oh man, I could picture him. He just would not stop. Who was it? D-end. Big dude. Can't remember who. Man, this is gonna frustrate me because I love him.
I know I wasn't.
No, it definitely wasn't you. You're not. So what was your experience like on the scout team? I mean, it's not glory at all.
Yeah, so scout team was fun for me because I really got to work on my game a lot. I was scout team player of the year that year. And the thing that was so funny about it to me, the guys, they was like, hey, Coop, slow down. I'm like, bro, this is my game day. I'm not finna slow down. I know y'all want me to go slow. I'm not slowing down. And I used to love beating Morgan Davis. Can I cuss? Can we cuss? Look.
Yes, you can. You can do whatever you want.
I used to love beating Morgan Davis' ass. I used to love it. You know what I'm saying? And that was the guy that showed me like, oh, I can play. And so, but yeah, I loved it a lot. It was an opportunity to get better. And I think a lot of times, a lot of freshmen don't take advantage, and just players in general don't take advantage of practice, and don't know how to practice. And so I took the most of it and made the most of it and actually love it and feel like that made me a better player playing scout team that first year.
What do you love about practice, and how should players approach practice in your opinion?
To me, it's the only time you get to work on your game. The game day is actually to show the work that you put in. So what most guys do, they're trying to get through practice. What I did, I was very intentional. Every day I came out with whatever skill or technique that's my weakness that I need to work on. So if it's my footwork, all I'm working on is my footwork. If it's my hand placement, all I'm working on is that. And so every day I'm looking at it as an opportunity to actually, be a creative player and boost my stats up. And so that's how I went about it. But like I say, a lot of guys don't approach the game that way and don't approach practice. They're just trying to get through it versus looking at it as a chance to get better. And so that was my thing.
Dude, sorry, Coop. I was just trying to get through it. I was trying to get to the weekend. Fridays, Saturdays, I was trying to get there with my head and shoulders and everything still intact.
Well, Coop, no matter whether you were at practice or at a game, I'm sure one way that you guys would rehydrate was with some Cherry-Bundy. We've been getting on this tart cherry juice, Bernie, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm not going to lie. It's got all the antioxidants, all the good stuff that you need in order to keep your immune system where it needs to be and reduce reduce soreness, increase your recovery. Make sure you check out more at cherrybundy.com for the best tart cherry juice you're going to find anywhere around. But Coop, we want to get to this year's Badger team right now with the limited time that we've got left here today, because we know you're watching and we know you have thoughts. So what do you think? Let's start on the defensive side of the ball. What are your thoughts sort of on the progression of this year's defense?
Huh? No, man, it's a different team, you know. And so I know the guys in the group, they always talking about we don't have an identity. And so that's the thing we're really waiting to see. Like, what is it going to be the identity of this team, and what's that's going to be? Because right now it's kind of an unknown for everybody. And so, yeah, we are. Everybody's waiting for Godot.
Cool, but do you see? I mean, from game one or even last year, and up till probably about 3 games ago, I mean, even Alabama, these guys were competing. I mean, they might not have been dominating, but they were competing. And to my limited knowledge of defense, at least they were getting better. Dude, it's 2 D linemen against 5 O linemen. It's kind of unfair just in general. Although the defense kind of looks now like a 4-2 instead of a 3-3. So there's a little of that. But does that look like it to you? Do you see these guys getting better at least through the last 3 or 4 games?
Yeah, it's progress. It's just we've been spoiled. If we're honest, we had Barry for a while, we had Billima for a while, then we had Chris. So it was just this consistent kind of approach, and I think nothing's really had changed a lot, and so it was something that everybody was familiar with. And the hardest thing about anything is somebody new coming over. You see the same thing kind of going on with Alabama, where they just kind of like, all right, what's going on, And I think it's just a change. I think Fick eventually get it together, but we just want it now. That's all it is.
So Coop's been having a couple technical difficulties, so we're going to end it. We're going to be wrapping it up here to see if maybe with Coop, maybe without Coop. We don't know if he can hear us right now. We've been having technical difficulties.
Coop, we're going to do part 2.
All this means is that we get a part 2 with him, which I'm really excited to talk about because I want to dive into defensive line, man. I want to dive into really talking the technical parts of defensive line, coaching young defensive linemen, and sort of where they are on the market today, because you're coaching some of the best of them in
Coop's super success. I mean, that 04 year was fun to go 9-0 to start. We have a lot to talk. Part 2 is going to be fun.
Part 2 is going to be fun.
You just got to charge your phone, baby. That's it.
Listen, man, he's a busy man. He's out there educating the next generation. So we appreciate him, and we appreciate everyone here tuning in to Believe in Badgers on the Believe Network, presented by BetOnline.ag and Oak Ridge Wealth Management. Until next time, on Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.